Hey guys, a few months ago, I did a couple videos for UUQ. I did their laser and then also a red dot sight for them, and overall was really impressed by their quality, by their price, by the performance. Just overall, they were pretty decent products. So they reached out to me again and said they had a different product, a different red dot, and asked if I'd be willing to take a look at it for them. So what we have here is the HD 1088, and it's an RMR footprint, but I can see that it also has like a Picatinny attachment on there as well. But I figured we'd do a real quick unboxing, go over features and specifications, get it mounted on something, try it out at the range, and then give some thoughts on it. So we obviously have the optic right here up on top, just kind of moving around. I kind of wish that was in there a little bit better. I mean, it does have a protective cover on it, but that and then that cover. We got, looks like a lens cleaning cloth, some warranty information. Looks like some type of manual. Let's see what so all English and all English. So, and then it shows, I think, some other models there or something. Yeah. This appears to be some kind of adapter plate. I'll have to figure out what that is exactly. A bunch of different screws and wrenches in here. So it'll tell you for your specific pistol what you might need, and then they include all the different screws in there. A battery, and it is a CR2032. I believe it has a 50,000 hour battery life. And then another tool in there, and that appears to be everything. We'll real quick go over the features and specifications here. The dot itself is a 2 MOA. Magnification is just 1 times. It's got that CR2032. It says battery life up to 2 years or 50,000 hours. It's shock, dust, impact, fog, and recoil resistant. It's made out of aircraft grade anodized aluminum. There's our overall height, 1.46. The length is 1.77 inches. Width is 1.18 inches. The weight is 2.3 ounces. I will see what it weighs without that Picatinny plate here in a bit. The illumination settings is 12. That means that you have 12 different brightnesses, and it's 1 MOA adjustments there. And what those features and specifications didn't say, and one of the most unique things about it, is that this is a shake awake red dot. So basically you turn it on, you get your dot to the brightness that you want, and then let's say you put your rifle in your safe. The dot after 2 minutes will automatically shut off on its own. And then when you grab your rifle and it senses any movement at all, it comes back on at the exact same brightness that you left it at. So the very first thing I like to do when I pull these out is basically look over everything. Look to see if there's any type of like imperfections, or if the adhesive that's in these, if it's starting to like come out, or if it wasn't put in right. I look at the anodization to see how everything matches up. Look at the lens itself to see how clear it is, how the buttons are, see if there's any gaps. Just really this quality control stuff. On this here, the only thing that I'm seeing is down in here on that corner. It almost looks like there's some glue or something that like fell down into that, right? See it right down in there? Other than that, the rest of it looks pretty good. So just kind of going over the optic itself, we have the lens up here. It is multi-coated, which allows more light transmission, allows you to see out there better. It's parallax free, probably again out to about 100 yards or so. So you shoot with both eyes open. This over here is how you turn it on and how you increase the brightness of your dot. Up on top here, so your little emitter will be down in here, right down in this area. You got your elevation adjustment here. Coming around the side, you got windage adjustment. This is how you're going to turn it down and turn it off if you choose to. Again, it has shake awake, so it will power itself down. So technically you don't have to turn it back off, but if you want to, you can. And then this here is that weaver plate, and I assume that the battery is underneath here. So I'm honestly not sure if there was a previous version of this, but I read and it said that this is updated to allow for more G's, and this is up to 1,000 G's for the shockproof of it and the durability, like if you were to drop it and stuff like that. But you can use this on shotguns, you can use it on high power rifles, and then obviously pistols. And I'm actually starting to see more and more people run these micro red dots on rifles versus like a tube style red dot. I mean, if you just look at the size, there's almost no comparison. They're so much smaller, and it's a third or a fourth of the weight, so it just allows so much more room on your rail. But yeah, I see more and more guys, even on ARs, that are running these small ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted to something in order to show you guys the brightness and stuff. It's always awkward trying to hold the small ones, and it's way easier if it's already on here. But I'm working with the empty gun here, okay? And I'll have to remove this plate and then take this little plate off to put it up on here. And this could be like an RMR adapter plate, but I don't think I need it for mine, but we'll see what this is whenever I get that apart. So in order to get this Picatinny plate off, we need to loosen up these two screws here, and they probably do have some thread locker on them, so they're going to be kind of tight, but then this whole thing should drop down off of there. All right, those screws are out. This should just pop off. And there's actually a battery already in there. So they give you technically 2 batteries. All right, so I got my top plate off. And then for this particular pistol, this is my RMR adapter. So this will go up here on there like that. So these screws to mount the optic to the pistol were just all in this bag, just kind of loose. I do wish that they had like smaller bags inside of this bag that were labeled so that you would know exactly which ones these are. I know that I need the 6 by 32, so I'll have to kind of play with these and figure out which one actually screws into my pistol smoothly and right. Okay, so I found the ones that seem to go in pretty smooth into the spot it's going to need to go to. But once I put my plate on and I set the optic on, the screws that are provided do not seem to be long enough. And it may be because of this plate, even though it's 1/16 of an inch thick or whatever. I know some pistols don't require that adapter plate. It's already made for the RMR footprint. My particular gun has 4 different plates that I can put up on there. So I'm going to try to find some longer screws that'll work. You can see with the screw all the way down, that's all that sticks out. And that plate is in between there. And then that needs to be, going down to the threads. So I'm going to have to get something longer. All right, I was able to get that mounted on there. My pistol, has like extra plates and extra screws down in there. And I found some that will mount on there, and they secured it real tight. So just keep that in mind. If your pistol uses any type of adapter plate, the provided screws from UUQ may not be long enough to kind of bite down in there and secure your optic down. So you might have to get longer ones. So when you're dealing with different parts, like this was the plate cover on my Taurus there, and the screws that came with that. And then I've got the Picatinny mount, the screws that were that. I get like these little Ziploc baggies. Sometimes they come like on a dress shirts or whatever for the extra buttons. And I'll drop these parts down in here, and then I'll throw this back in my Taurus box so I don't lose these parts. But yeah, you can just get like little Ziploc bags like this. You can get them on Amazon. I don't know, they're like $5 for like 100 of them or something. I think these size are maybe like 1.5 inches by 2 inches. But it'll fit this kind of stuff down in here, and then you keep all the screws and hardware and stuff together. All right, so here's the optic mounted with that little cover on there. Again, maybe just because of my pistol, maybe because of this plate, but I can't get that cover to slide all the way down there. No matter how you try, that front end will not go down into that spot there. This cover is very, very flimsy. I mean, it's almost like nothing. And honestly, if I just turn the wrong way, it just falls right off. So it's almost going to do no good whatsoever for me. I mean, you don't have to touch it and it just falls off. So, I mean, it might be good, like just to keep in the range bag to make sure none of the magazines move or something like that. But yeah, that cover is not great. All right, we'll get it turned on here and see what the dot looks like. There is just a little bit of a graying or a bluing out. It's not horrible, but you can see how white this is, and then how that makes it just like, look up here right now at that white, and then look down through there, and there's just a little bit of a bluing effect to it. Again, nothing bad, and it does not have a notch cut out back here, so you will not be able to see your factory sight. You can see your front sight, but you will not be able to line up your front and rear together. All right, we'll push the button on this side to turn it on. And there is our dot. And then let's go up through the brightnesses. I'm not sure where it turned on at. That appears to be the brightest right there. And overall, that does seem like it's a really crisp, nice dot. It's obviously red. So if you like a green dot, this one's probably not for you. All right, so let's say that that's 12 is what they're claiming. So let's go down through. That'd be 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is not getting any dimmer. And then in order to shut it off, you hold this side for like, again, like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And it's off now, but you don't have to do that. Remember, it does have shake awake, so you can just put it in your gun safe or whatever, and it'll shut off automatically after 2 minutes. I'm going to turn it back on. Okay, so to turn it on, you only need to just tap it. You don't have to hold it at all. I was trying to hold it there. And let's go up to like level 4 or 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now let's turn it off and make sure that it comes back on that 5. Yeah, that appears to be the same. So we should have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, definitely got a whole lot brighter from where we left it at. So you can just set it at whatever level you like. Whatever maybe a good combination between darkness and daylight, and then just leave it there. Again, you'll just, with it on like it is right now, just lay it down in your safe. It shuts off after 2 minutes. You pick your gun up and your dot will be on. Again, still working with a completely empty firearm, but I'm going to be pointing it here, so I just wanted to show you guys. I don't know the exact size of the viewing window. The overall width is just over 1 inch and something, so I have to assume that the window's close to 1 inch. And that shroud that goes over, this is all one piece aluminum. That's actually really thick. I mean, this should hold up to abuse if you were to drop this or anything like that. And the lens is actually like recessed quite a bit, so it's not like sticking out beyond that. Like you can't feel the lens in the front there, and then obviously it's well protected in the back. So unless there was something like pointing and it dropped down on it, that lens should be fine. Hey guys, out at the range today here with this little UUQ red dot. We'll run a box of ammo through it, make sure that it can hold zero, no shutting off, no flickering of the dot, nothing crazy like that. All right, got 1 magazine through. I shot 2 or 3 and then started making some adjustments, another couple. I will say that this tool does not do the greatest job. I always keep a little thing of screwdrivers in my range bag. So I end up using the straight head on that to make the adjustments. This thing's like really kind of flimsy and it doesn't fit into the slots there very well, but we'll run a few more magazines through. Okay, so having this UUQ red dot for a few weeks now and actually getting to the range and using it, kind of wanted to share some of my thoughts with you guys. First thing is that that lens or that glass is very clear. No issues whatsoever at the range, like no flickering of the dot. It handled the recoil of 9mm just fine. I like the adjustability of the brightness of that dot. The day that I was at the range, I was shooting inside of our pistol shed, but also I had to do some shooting outside, and it was a really bright sunny day, and that dot gets really bright. Overall, it seems like it's constructed really well, and that shake awake technology that's in it has worked every single time that I've picked it up, which has probably been 30 or 40 times over the last few weeks. You know, just be laying in the safe or whatever, I'll pick it up, and as soon as I bring it up, it's easy to find that dot. There's just a few things that I dislike about it. First thing is, you do have to completely remove it when it's time to change out the battery. I know they said the battery is supposed to last 40 to 50,000 hours, which is probably several years, if it lasts that long. But I've had other small, like mini micro red dots that the battery door is still here up on the top. I've even had some where there's like a tray on the side where it'll slide out. So that is a negative because you probably do have to sight it back in every time you do that. But again, it's probably just once every so many years. So not a huge deal on that. One of my biggest gripes is with this cover here. This thing is honestly not very good. It doesn't stay on for anything. Even in my range bag, I have like these individual like gun case bags that it goes in, and so it's here like this with another like half on top of it. And even when I got to the range, this was still laying loose inside that bag, and I had two things pressing against it, so I don't even know how it moved like that. But this thing does not stay on at all. If it's your carry gun, it's probably not a big deal. It's going to be down in a holster. You're never going to use this anyways. But there's no reason for them to have these cutouts like this right here because you, basically this is designed so you can adjust the brightness and stuff while this is on, but nobody's ever going to do that. So I would completely redesign this, make this a whole lot sturdier and thicker, and not have these cutouts. Make this solid all the way across it. There's no purpose in it. And probably my last complaint is that the screws that they provided did not fit, but that's not necessarily their fault. It's because my particular pistol, I have to add this extra plate right there to adapt to this RMR footprint. And that's probably only a 16th or an eighth of an inch, but it's just enough that the provided screws would not screw down into it. There was one other small thing I forgot, and I mentioned it at the range, I believe, but I did not care for that. I assume this is a sight tool, like a sight adjustment tool, and because this is like one, it's all plastic, but because it's like so rounded, you've only got like that little tip that's the flattest part that's trying to get into there, and it's actually kind of hard to adjust these. It seems like it slips out a lot, and I end up having to just use my own screwdrivers at the range. I would rather see this just be flat across there. I think that would be a better design to get in there better because it just does not stay in there very well. So over the 3 weeks or so that I've had this, I kind of keep watching the prices to see what they do on Amazon, and they've stayed right around $75 or so most of the time. They're on sale right now for 67 the day that I'm finishing the recording of this. But you can expect somewhere between 68 and $75, which is an absolutely fantastic deal for a reflex sight with shake awake technology, all the brightness adjustments, overall, that's a really, really good deal. So I will leave an Amazon link down in the video description if you guys want to find out more information in case there are things that I left out, or pick one up for yourselves. It'll be down there. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.